Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Today I'm going to be taking a look at my custom NW Toys body Daredevil, aka just pretty much taking the Mezco Daredevil and taking it off of the not terrible but not as good as the NW Toys body version and putting it onto that, as well as because these two episodes that are dropping tonight, one is more centered around Matt and then the other is hopefully going to be more centered around Matt putting the suit back on. So I was like, well, might as well throw both Daredevil and Matt into a video because, you know, Matt deserves his own custom figure. And this Matt is technically a Manipple Studio custom because I used the John Wick body because I was like, well, what if I just threw this together just cause? And admittedly, this Matt is not finished. He's also way smaller because he's on the Manipple John Wick body instead of like the NW Toys body, which is what pretty much every other custom I've made from Daredevil is on. But, you know, hey, beggars can't be choosers, and this just started out as like just kind of throwing pieces together because, you know, that's usually how that kind of stuff starts. Because the Legends one is great. The official Legends Matt is fantastic. I love that figure, but it's a gray suit, and Matt doesn't usually wear gray that much. Like, he wears it a decent, you know, amount to where it like, you know, it doesn't look out of place, but he's mostly in like a black suit with a white shirt and, you know, like either a black tie or like a red tie, you know, because Daredevil and all that stuff. And I do have a white shirt on the way, and then I have a tie that I will be putting on this, but for the time being, it's just him with a black undershirt, which he does, you know, he has worn that before, and usually in like a going out on like a date type context like he does with Heather, right? I'm like, I keep getting character names of Kristen and Heather mixed up, but it's definitely Heather because it's Kristen McDuffie, right? Right? Is his law partner? I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. But anyway, I love the way this Matt turned out. Like I said, it was just sort of a random thing. I just kind of threw it together, and, you know, of course I'm knocking stuff over because I wouldn't be me if I wasn't knocking everything over. So I guess let's look at Matt here first. So like I said, it is the original Legends head sculpt, and then of course his cane stick, and it is just, I repainted the head almost entirely other than the eyes because the original version of it just didn't look as nice. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't look as good as what I made here by giving him a little bit more, you know, deeper of a beard, giving him obviously the cuts and the bumps and the scrapes and bruises and whatnot because it's Matt. He always is. I am going to go back probably and add some bloody knuckles because, again, it's Matt. That's usually how he looks. But oh, the hands as well are NW Toys hands, and they are proportionate because for whatever reason, the only hands that are not small on the NW Toys figure are the trigger finger hands, which thankfully, because on Frank, which I did basically completely overhaul this like right after I made that other video because of course I did, I'm me. But like you can see the hand size, for whatever reason, the NW Toys hands, the trigger finger hands are great, but the like grip hands, the fists, the open hands, they're all so tiny in comparison. I don't know why, but, you know, it ended up creating this, so he's able to actually hold his stick, and it looks really cool in his hand, and it doesn't look, his hands don't look disproportionate. The all-black suit looks really good on him. I did actually go in and cut off the sleeves on the undershirt, though, so I can't take the jacket off, but it allows him to have so much more movement. Like, you can get his arm literally across his entire body, which is super awesome. I can get him into, like, you know, Matt Murdock level crazy kind of parkouring around the city. Like, oh, hey, I gotta go real quick because it's the middle of the day and I can't be Daredevil during the day kind of thing. So I can get him, you know, still doing some pretty acrobatic, cool stuff, which is really great. You know, you always want to be able to do that with any sort of Daredevil figure, and Matt is no exception to that. So this looks so cool, and I'm very happy with how this turned out. And then when it comes to Daredevil, there's a lot more that went into this figure. I originally tried like a few times to make the just original suit fit on an NW Toys body and to get everything to fit really nice and neat. It just wasn't happening. And as a result, this is what came out of it. So the suit itself is obviously the Mezco one. The hands are the Mezco hands. The head and neck are the Mezco hands. I repainted the head. His billy clubs and his holster are from the Marvel Select, and I just went ahead and glued that on there. The knee pads are from Ant-Man. I don't know if it's from the Infinity War Ant-Man or if it's from the Ant-Man and the Wasp Ant-Man, but it's from an MCU Ant-Man, and I just pretty much cut holes in the suit because they were starting to tear a little bit from the old knee pads, and I was like, well, I'll give him a little bit bigger ones, and it made him look a little bit more proportionate. I'm probably going to go back in and dye the lower legs because you can see a little bit of the skin tone whenever his legs get posed up in a certain way, but the boots are the NW Toys boots, and the only other, like, random thing that I added in is that you can see it. I cut the suit in half, essentially. And as a result of that, I took some black fabric and put that inside the suit and like on the outside of the body on there, so I can actually get him into poses so he can still pose, and you can see a little bit of the dyed torso in there, but you can see the black fabric right there. He can go back, forward, you know, all that fun stuff that you'd want Matt to be able to do that you just can't do with the standard Mezco version of him. So, like, I can get him almost into that exact same pose that I got the Matt into before, where you have him just doing, like, a kick across a table or, you know, just flying through the air to give a kick, and you can't really do that with the Mezco one, so it is really cool to be able to do that for my personal, you know, Daredevil. Because while this isn't perfect, you know, like, none of my customs are ever perfect or anything like that, because nothing's perfect. But this is perfect for my collection, and I'm very excited for the Born Again Legends figure. That figure is going to be so fun. I cannot wait for it. I hope they show off the Frank, and I can't wait for the Hot Toys Born Again figure to go up for pre-order, because I'm going to snag that immediately. But I couldn't be happier with either of these two, so I'm going to show you guys the size comparisons with what we've already taken a look at, and of course what we will take a look at next. So here they are with Frank, and this looks great. When it'll focus, it'll look great. But these look great. Obviously, like I said, Matt is on the Manipul John Wick body, so he is a little bit smaller. But, I mean, trick of the camera, obviously, you can always get that stuff done. But the way that Frank and Matt look together right here is just, ooh, looks phenomenal. I love it. And, of course, you know, I'm going to show this one just to tease it a little bit. That figure, which we will go over here either next week or the week after. But I also have stuff on the way for a Fisk. So we'll be taking a look at those two in the upcoming weeks as well. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much gonna do it. Any questions you guys have, let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you think about these, if you hate them, if you love them. Unfortunately, the Legends head of the Matt Murdock doesn't fit really on the NW Toys body to one kind of, you know, if I wanted to create an NW Toys version of Matt, or if I just wanted to have him unmasked Daredevil on the NW Toys figure, it doesn't really fit. But hopefully the Legends Born Again figure, this head will fit on there. The only thing with it is it looks a lot like Charlie with the glasses on, but when you take those off, there's something off. I don't know what it is, but I can't quite place it. And I probably will for the finale, or maybe when I run out of, quote-unquote, run out of customs for this, like, what in the coming weeks, you know, like before the show ends, I'm probably going to do a whole overview video because, I mean, as you guys saw, I did mess around with Frank and completely change this figure from what I had shown you guys, which, you know, of course I did, so I can't wait to show you guys that properly again, and I'll probably make some changes to some others and whatnot before we end up getting to the finale of the first season of Born Again, and I'll do like a whole overview, maybe just talking about the entire season. So yeah, let me know if you guys are interested in that. And yeah, that's gonna do it for me, and I will catch you all in the next one. See ya.